The court can't force you to protect your wife, and the court can't force you to make
Well,
money
economically,
for your
they
family.
can force you to. They can force you to protect somebody. You can, like, I've had, cases where the court says, okay, this person needs a security detail. If it's a celebrity, they say these kids are going to need security for when they go to school, things like that.
But the average person, like, can the court say you have to work to a dad?
Well, what the courts say is Lincoln freed the slaves. Like, if you're a, if you're a,
It's like taking a look over. Like, I like Brad fucking guy. You jumped right in on that. Like, nod to Lincoln, by the way. That's a lot of big ups.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
what I'm saying, what I
Yeah, the dude in court.
Take a right on race and play it right there.
The dude in court.
Yeah, you said her pussy was like a bowl of oatmeal.
yeah.
He's thicker than
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
So if your financial status at the moment you were getting divorced determined what your obligations were, everybody quit their fucking job the minute they were getting divorced.
Right.
So what the courts say is, like, if you're a brain surgeon who now I'm getting divorced, I decided I want to be a fucking yoga teacher.
Right.
The court goes, look, Lincoln freed the slaves. We can't make you be a brain surgeon. You're just going to be you're going to be a yoga teacher who has the financial obligations of a brain surgeon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, most guys don't think about that. Did you hear what he just said? So if I'm a man, right, and I get on child support or I'm getting a divorce and I'm making $100,000, and the judge says, hey, listen, you're making $100,000, you're going to pay $2,000 a month for child support. Apparently, even if I change a job on my own to make less money so I can pay less child support, the judge won't change my child support payment, because child support is based on income. But some guys may try to get a lower paying job so they can pay lower child support. The judge apparently will still force you to pay the same child support because they think you intentionally changed your job, income so you can pay less.
So they impute an income to you.
Oh, really?
And they'll say, whatever you do for a living, it's fine. We can't force you to work, but we can give you financial obligations commensurate with your earning capacity, even if you're not earning at that capacity.
Wow.
Which is actually really
That's
fucked up sometimes. Yeah. Like, I had a client once who was an air traffic controller. And if you know anything about air traffic controllers, like, you can have a high school education, be an air traffic controller, make like $300,000-400,000 a year.
Wow.
Like, you can do really, really well. Well, this guy, his mother passed away. He was very close with her. He had a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression from it, and he had to go on medication, psychiatric medication, to, like, sort of deal with it. You're not allowed to be on benzodiazepines or certain psychiatric medications while you're in air traffic control, so he was terminated from his position. The next best job this guy could get, he made about $50,000 a year. But the court was like, no.
You still got to.
Your earning capacity is $350,000 a year. That's what you made. And we were like, Judge, what job can this guy get where he's going to make that amount of money? So it can sometimes, this is how guys end up in jail for not paying.
So what do you do?
It's not their fault.
So what do you do?
He suffered, basically. Yeah. I mean, he had a very unfair child support award placed against him. He ended up in jail a couple of times. It was a really...
Because he was, like, selling drugs or something to make the money?
No,
or?
he just was not... He didn't pay his support. It's illegal to not pay child support. You can be put in jail.
And that's where some guys are also choosing, you know what? I'm not having kids. You know what? I'm done having kids. I'm never having kids. The guys who have kids are like, I'm never having kids again. And the guys who don't have kids look at stories like this and they're like, you know what? Because there is no man who's going to watch this story and be like, you know what? I'm so excited. I can't wait to have kids. Now, any man who wants to have kids is going to watch a story like this, a video like this, and start thinking, is this really worth it? You know what I mean? Because another issue most guys have is, even when you pay child support, there is no way to tell if the mother is really using that money on the kids. For example, I just saw Elon Musk is paying one of his baby mamas like $500,000 a month. $500,000 a month for one baby? Like, which baby needs $500,000 a month? You see? So, because there's no way to track how the woman is using the money. So some guys are like, it's not fair, because guys don't have an issue taking care of their babies, of their kids. But it's like, okay, I'm giving the woman all this money, but she's changing hair every week. She's buying new bags. She's out at brunch with her girlfriends. Like, Judge, I just need to see how she's spending the money. You know, we could use half of that money to save for the kids' college fund. You feel me? And then another thing is most guys have an issue with child support because I'm paying money, but I can't see my kids as often as I want to. I still need visitation requirements and stuff like that. So some guys are like, I'm done having kids.
You can't go back for a readjustment if you have.
We did after a certain amount of time, and then it was granted. Yeah,
Oh,
like it was
so-
the judge sort of didn't buy that this was not done intentionally. Like we joke in our industry that we call it sudden income deficiency syndrome. That it hits like 9 out of 10 divorcing men. Like guys are doing really great, and then all of a sudden they're getting divorced, and they're like, "But this year's going to be bad. I'm not going to do well this year." Like you work for Goldman Sachs, and they're like, "Yeah, but we're having a bad year." So it happens a lot that judges tend to look at people and go, something tells me that if you're saying you're suddenly not doing well financially and it happens to be when you're getting divorced, there might be it's not a coincidence.
So I hear about these guys who don't pay child support. You see that anecdotally, whatever. But then the saying I always hear is, well, courts are not in the collections business. So how do some guys seemingly not really pay, kind of be unfair, and then some guys, well-intentioned, end up in jail?
So the courts, it depends on how bold the judge is. I mean, what I'll tell you is I'll give you some free legal advice. If you ever have a child support obligation against you, which I hope you never do, and you have to pay it and you don't have the money to pay it. Like if you're supposed to give her $2,000 a month and you don't have $2,000, don't give her $1,000. Give her $1,226.37. Because then when we get in front of the judge, we can say, "Judge, I had $1,000. I borrowed $200 from my cousin. I found $32 under the mats of my car. This is everything I have." Because what people do is if you gave 1,000, why didn't you give 1,001? If you gave 1,500, like if a round number, it just looks like you're full of shit.
This guy is literally giving free child support divorce consultation for free on YouTube. That's why I said at the beginning of this video, any man who wants to have kids, who wants to get married, you feel like you're in love, you don't care about child support, you don't care about alimony talk, you don't care about prenup, you may have to watch this video before you get married or you're married, just to see exactly what you're in for, because the statistics don't lie. Half of the marriages end in divorce. That's just a statistic. So as a man, if you're going to be logical enough to weigh your options, you might want to watch this video.
But yeah, I mean, look, we courts don't always, again, because judges are human. There are some judges, they will put you right the fuck in jail. I've had clients let off in orange, where the judge says, "Look, you got a week to pay this child support, and if you don't, bring a toothbrush when you come back to court, because I'm putting you away." And they'll lock guys up. They have what's called weekend jail.
Damn.
Where on Friday after work, you check in and you stay in jail until Monday morning.
Damn. Jeez. So you go to work Monday to Friday. On Friday, you check into jail as if you're checking into a hotel room and come out Monday. You go back to work. You go to work, you come back on Friday, checking into jail, and then on Monday you go to work. Damn, man, that's not a life to live. So some of you guys think about marriage, think about having kids. This could be you. Because everything is fine in the honeymoon phase until she says she's bored. Until she finds, a Mr. Handsome, real Prince Charming. And then you're over there in divorce court, family court, going through the ring is wondering, I thought we were meant for each other.